Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Jay Hollingshed, your high performance mindset coach and public speaker. My brother, I love you, man. Tuning in already. I appreciate you, my fellow noble brother, Arthur Hollingshed. And this is Jay Hollingshed, as I was saying. I am your high performance mindset coach and public speaker, and this is episode number 110 of 365. Episode 110 of 365, and this is my 7 pillars of mental performance in 365 days series. My Aunt Gina tuning in. I appreciate you. You got a front row seat as well. Reserve seat. That's right. You got a front row seat that's reserved for you as well. Thank you for everybody that's tuning in. Everybody that's watching this on repeat, thank you as well. Anybody that wants to watch this episode in its entirety, feel free to go to my YouTube channel. All 100 plus of my episodes are backlogged on YouTube. So thank you for everybody that's tuning in, and feel free to like. In fact, I'm asking you, if you would, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and share my YouTube link, if you would. I really greatly appreciate that. Frank D. Robinson, I appreciate you for tuning in. Frat, you're a good dude. I appreciate you, man. Now, today is Thursday. Thursday is the day 5 of the week in which we discuss pillar number 5, which is imagery and visualization. Imagery and visualization. Now, didn't do any research this time, didn't write anything down this time, because I had to think about what I was doing when I talk to everyone that tunes in. And my aunt says she's tuned in and this is good stuff. Thank you so much. The feedback is awesome. Please, feedback. I love feedback. I need feedback. That drives me to do more and more. That's my motivation. That helps build my confidence. So feedback, I greatly appreciate that. Put it in the comments if you would. Thank you very much. Now, I had to think back to what I'm doing as I give all this good information. As my aunt says, this is good stuff. And truly, it is good stuff. However, that's all I've been doing, is giving you information. Now, I put myself in your shoes, and I had to think, once I get this information, am I able to instantly turn off the video and apply it and make a difference just like that? Am I able to instantly apply it, instantly apply what I've learned? Or do I have to go through and review and try to think it through and all of that? And some of the videos, I found it hard to do that, because all I'm doing is giving information. I'm educating, but I'm not empowering. So I have to do a better job of empowering my viewers to act, empower everyone to enable themselves to get up and get out and do, become, employ your high performance mindset. Arthur Onaya, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. So starting tonight, I'm going to make a better effort to empower as well as educate. I want to educate, but I'm going to try to make an impact with empowering you to act from what I teach. Now, let's get back to imagery and visualization, and we're going to empower tonight from imagery and visualization. Now, I want to talk to you about the quality of the imagery and visualization. Now, a lot of times people, like I said, I've been giving information, I've researched, I've come from some of the top websites, the top psychology books, and some of the top colleges, peer-reviewed scholarly articles, all that stuff. I've given you all of that already in my 100 plus episodes. So now let's focus on allowing you to be an expert on what I give you. So, imagery and visualization. How do you become an expert? Where do you start practicing this? How do you start to apply this in your own lives? This is how you do it. I want you to think about your goals, your current goal that you have, or the current thing that you're shooting for, the current place you're trying to get to. What do you have in mind for your future? What do you see in your future? Now, when you think about that, to properly benefit from the imagery and visualization, you first start off by holding a picture in your mind. I say all the time, we think in pictures. When someone tells us something, and we have a picture of what they told us that comes in our head. Frederick Shadding, thank you so much for tuning in, my brother. There's a picture that pops in our head when someone tells us something. So when we think of what we want to be, when we think of our goals are actually in pictures. So take that picture and put that in your mind. When you put that picture of that goal in your mind, you are actually employing the process of visualization. You are using your mind and you have that vision of your goal. It's visual now, but why? Because you can see it. Now, you have to go a step further for the imagery or imagination. You have to go a step further than that. That's where you bring in your five senses. I've talked about this several times before, but I want to go into detail about the process this time. The imagery or the imagining is bringing in the five senses. It's like that kindergartner. You give that kindergartner a box of crayons and you tell them to not draw their favorite superhero, but tell them to make up a superhero, create a superhero. Watch what they do. The first thing they will do, some of them may do this, but a lot of them, you know what? I've seen it happen too many times. A lot of them will actually do this. Why do they do that? This is why. They close their eyes because all they want to see is what is in their head. They don't want any distractions to take their vision to take their physical vision and place it on whatever it is that's exterior. They want to stay in their mind. So they close their eyes and they see that they're creating in their mind that picture of a superhero that they are trying to create. And sometimes they'll do this. They'll close their ears because they don't want their imagery to be tainted from what they hear. They don't want to be distracted going from one way to the other, having their mind shooting in different directions based on what they hear. So when they do that, they shut out the outside world and they go within. They're going straight to who they are, their spirit, their creative side. And everything that's ever been created, everything that's ever been made, it comes from within and then it goes out. Jay Baker, how you doing, my brother? I appreciate you for tuning in. My man from Omega Sci-Fi and Prince Hall affiliate. I appreciate you, brother. But we go inward and then we create and grow outward. So you tell that kindergartner to create a superhero and you give them a box of crayons, they're going to shut you and the rest of the world out while they think. And that factory in their mind is going. The wheels are turning and they are creating that superhero. And once they get it in their minds, boom, light bulb comes on. They get those crayons, boom, they're ready to go. They're going and they are drawing. They are drawing. Do not interrupt them. That is a masterpiece at work. So they are drawing actually what they are doing are following through with the instructions that they received in their minds. It's a spiritual instruction that they received. They saw what they wanted, and so they had that experience. They created an experience of that superhero. So when I say you create an experience, you take your your vision a step further. You visualized your goal already. Now, when you visualize your goal, you take it a step further by bringing in your five senses. You want to hear, what does your goal sound like? What does it sound like when you reach your goal? If you're an athlete reaching your goal, or do you hear the crowd cheering? Do you hear the runners beside you? If you are running, do you hear the runners beside you trying to keep up with you or you passing them? What do you see? Do you see excitement in the crowd? Or do you see the finish line and nobody else in front of you? Or do you see one more person in front of you and you got to put it in high gear and you know you got to keep going? Is that what you see? Now, or what do you hear? I went over hearing. What do you see? What do you smell? A lot of times I talk about my athletes that perform in arenas. What do they smell? They smell the popcorn. They smell the pizza. They smell the smells of the arena while they are competing. So you have to bring all of your five senses into play. Not only that, when it comes to smell, especially if you're in an arena, when you smell something, you activate your taste buds. So taste is part of that process. If you smell popcorn, you're going to salivate. You're going to salivate and your taste buds have kicked in, so that the sense of taste has kicked in as well. Last one, what do you feel? When you are when you are imagining your goal, what are you feeling? Do you feel excited? Is your heart beating fast? Do you feel? Are you sweating? What do you feel? All this in your mind. What are you feeling? So you're seeing, you're hearing, you're tasting, you're touching, you're feeling. All of this is going on in your mind, and you're bringing all of those five senses into play, because when that happens, your five senses force your central nervous system to push and make your body react. Now it's not just in your mind, it's mental and physical, because your body is reacting to it as well. A lot of times, I forget this guy's name already, but look him up. I should have researched it before, but it just popped in my mind to tell you this. I think his name is Lenny or Leonard or Leon, but he invented the Super Soaker, the super huge water gun. There's a black guy that invented that. And his process of going through inventing that, hey, Keisha Davis, I appreciate you for tuning in. His process of going through and inventing that Super Soaker water gun was that he visualized the entire process from beginning to end in the exact same manner that Nikola Tesla did when he invented the Tesla coil. So they saw the process and they brought their five senses in, and they went from beginning to end, from concept to creation. They conceptualized it here, starting with the vision of their goal. And then they brought their five senses, and then it became part of their imagination. It had feelings. So it was an imagery, and their imagination came into play, and a whole new world opened up to where they saw everything unfolding. Let's take the Super Soaker real quick. That was his goal, to have that Super Soaker made. Now, he went from beginning to end thinking about what it's going to look like, envisioning everybody or families having a ball with it at picnics, family reunions, or whatever. He saw that as the end result. So then he saw how it was going to be made or put together in a factory or processed, however you want to do that, how the plastic pieces were being made and put together. He saw all of that happening. Now, then he went from there to actually visualizing the mistakes that were made. You're going to make mistakes. Mistakes are going to happen. So when you're in your imagery and visualization process, think about a mistake or two, because it's not going to be a perfect process. So they had made the mistakes in their mind. They fixed the mistakes in their mind, and they went on to the finished product, tested it out, product launch. Next thing you know, it's being licensed by a toy manufacturer, and it's out on the streets. And what came to fruition was the initial vision of families playing with the Super Soaker water gun at the family reunions or picnic or wherever they are. So the same thing with Nikola Tesla. He envisioned everything from beginning to end. Now, why did I say envision your mistakes? If you are envisioning your goal and you are imagining your goal, you have to have mistakes in there. Why? Mistakes are going to happen. That's a part of life. That's a growth process. We are imagining and visualizing according to our expectations. Yes, we are expecting perfection as the end result or as the final product. However, there are going to be bumps in the road. When you go through the bumps in the road in your mind, you are actually preparing your mind not to be in shock when these mistakes happen. It may not be those actual mistakes. However, your mind is like, oh, a mistake. I've seen one of those before. Let's handle that. Instead of your mind saying, oh, good Lord, what is this? This wasn't part of the process. We're supposed to go straight through to from conception to creation. Nobody said anything about a mistake. Okay, can we take a time out? Press pause. You don't want your mind doing that. So make your mistakes, correct your mistakes, do all of that in your mind. Once you do that, go to the end result, then you have your goal. Then you've completed the process of imagining and visualizing your goal. Now, that's just the mental part. You've completed A through Z of the mental part. Now you have to bring your body in physically into play. You add the physical to the mental. You have to act it out. You have to go through the process of the physical creation. You have to take action. If you don't take action, all you're doing is daydreaming. That's it. It's like the faith is here. The action is here. Faith without works is dead. You have to combine the two. There's no way around that. So when you're having your goal setting process, your imagery and visualization process that you are applying to your goal setting process. You have to imagine all the way through from beginning to end, okay? And throw some, mistake or two in there. It may not be the mistake that you are expecting, but you are preparing your mind to deal with something, alternative measures. That's what I wanted you to have in your mind as you go forward with your goals, okay? So a lot of us started out early this year with New Year's resolutions, and a lot of us have fallen off the wagon. A lot of us have fallen off the wagon because there was no vision in front of the wagon. And your wagon stopped. Wagon wasn't going anywhere. You got off of it. Now you have a vision that you are able to cast, or a process where you can cast your vision and then go forward with your imagery process. And from there, put your action into it, then reach your goal. That's all that I have for today in your imagery and visualization process. I am Jay Hollingshed, your high performance mindset coach and public speaker. I'm empowering minds from the locker room to the boardroom, helping athletes and entrepreneurs produce on a higher level for a greater way of life. This has been episode number 110 of 365 of my 7 pillars of mental performance. Thank you for tuning in. Be well, stay blessed, and through love, be a blessing. God bless.